The Ford Taurus pulled into the rental car lot at San Francisco International a little after 9 in the morning. The man's flight to LAX was booked for 11:30. After phoning the police about Wasserman, he knew the airports and bus stations would come under heavy surveillance. It didn't particularly worry him. Not only would it take the police time to mobilize, he was pretty sure they didn't have a useful description of him. After discarding the fake wig and the backpack in 2 different South of Market dumpsters, he gave the beret to the first homeless person he saw. The man arrived in San Francisco 3 days ago to make the final preparations. He'd kill Wasserman, then go back home for a few days before coming north again to kill Schaefer, the last person on his list. Bill Schaefer was the current governor of California. Curiously, when the man undertook his journey of retribution, Schaefer wasn't even on his radar screen. He was just one of hundreds of people who, back in the day, had made a name for themselves protesting the Vietnam War. But unlike most of his contemporaries, Schaefer had used his notoriety to carve out a successful political career. Having conquered the California political landscape, rumors had him about to announce his intention of running for the presidency. As the man sat waiting for the shuttle bus to take him to the airport, he patted the briefcase on his lap. Inside were the cassettes. On those cassettes were the interviews with the 4 women he killed, each implicating Schaefer as the driving force behind their visits to North Vietnam. And while the man believed the women's actions classified them as traitors to their country, their flat-out assertions about Schaefer's involvement now placed him on the man's radar screen. While in the city the past 3 days shadowing Wasserman, the man learned that Schaefer had a planned fundraising event at the San Francisco Marriott this coming Thursday evening. He canvassed area realtors about renting office space near the hotel. One found him the perfect spot. They showed him a 5th-floor office suite 1 block away with a direct line of sight to the hotel's entrance. He had no doubt he could make a killing shot from there. He immediately filled out a rental agreement. His application had been approved yesterday morning. "No chance of you becoming president, Governor," the man muttered to himself as he boarded the shuttle to the airport. "By next Thursday evening, you'll be dead." The bus dropped him off at Terminal 2. The man had an hour to wait for his flight. He hadn't eaten in over 14 hours. His stomach alternately ached and growled, but the thought of food made him queasy. The doctor told him this would happen. The pancreatic cancer was literally eating him alive. Food for him was food for it. He figured the less he ate, the more time he bought himself. Probably made no difference whatsoever. The doctor told him he had 6 months to live. That would take him to November, but it was clear to him he didn't have that long. In fact, with what he was planning, it was doubtful he would live beyond next Thursday. He fully expected to meet Schaefer in hell that night. Mortality. It was such a fickle thing. He looked at 2 pretty girls as they walked past him, giggling at something or other. In their early 20s, wide-eyed in the face of their future. Whatever lay in front of them, it had to be good. Oh, the optimism of youth. One returned his glance, caught his eye, and then looked away, continuing her conversation. When he was a younger man, those same eyes would have locked onto his and held, filling him with life. Now they just looked through him. He was part of the ever-changing landscape, like the chairs and ticket counters that outlined the gate area. He was old. The world was young and belonged to the young. They knew it just as surely as he had when he was their age. A crushing sadness enveloped him. He was so utterly and acutely alone, even in this place teeming with people, time passing, his time. He knew he was an anachronism. Most people had long ago made their peace with what had happened in Vietnam and moved on. Most would consider what he had done to be murder. They were fools. In his estimation, the people he targeted were traitors to the country, domestic enemies, and the oath he had taken so long ago justified their deaths. But he wasn't fooling himself. It was first and foremost revenge that motivated his bitterness. Revenge for the intense and brutal torture that was inflicted upon him and his comrades every time an American war protester visited North Vietnam. He had no problem with the anti-war sentiment that swept the country back then. That was democracy at work, and it was democracy that his oath required him to protect.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.